Introduce yourself and say where you're from.
Konnichiwa.
Oh, be professional. Be professional.
Hi, I'm Issa,
I'm Grace.
and we're from America.
Which part of America?
California, the Bay Area.
San Jose.
Why did you guys come to Japan?
We were on a girls' trip, so we went to Vietnam first, then we went to Korea, and we're ending it here in Japan.
This is worldwide, baby.
Do either of you have boyfriends?
Nah. We're hella single.
Have you hooked up with any guys on your girls trip yet?
Absolutely
No,
not.
Absolutely not.
We don't like men.
No.
Would you describe yourself as a feminist?
I mean, all for female rights.
Okay.
I feel like feminist, the word itself has a bad connotation, I feel like, but I support women's rights, abortion rights. Probably should not say that.
So what's the controversy over feminism in America right now?
Any words, Grace?
I feel like it comes from like men. They're the ones who feel like feminism is a bad thing, and that's just because at least in America, it's a very what is it?
Patriarchal society.
Yes, it's a
Got you.
patriarchal society. Obviously, because the men the men. Wow,
Okay, it's okay. Feminism's not like the biggest deal in America right now. Is there any problem in America that you think is really bad right now?
I feel like America has a lot of shootings. I feel like that's a big problem here. A lot of mass shootings. I think it's different in Japan because the cops here don't have guns and they don't condone violence, right? In America, it's all about the violence, man. It's all about the guns.
And I think the culture is really different too. In my opinion, I feel like a lot of Asian cultures, they really have a strong emphasis on bringing honor to their family. So getting involved with the law brings dishonor to their family, and that kind of has repercussions for generations. Whereas in America, I feel like not that it's more acceptable to be in trouble with the law, but it's kind of America promotes individualism. So it's kind of like if you make a mistake with your life, that doesn't really have a reflection on your family. That's what I think.
Nice. Also, can you say your ethnic background?
Yeah, I'm Vietnamese.
I'm also Vietnamese.
Oh, okay. So how was it like growing up as Vietnamese American in California?
Growing up as a Vietnamese American,
Yeah.
I feel like we were lucky enough to be in a community where there's a lot of Vietnamese people, especially in San Jose. There's like Vietnam Town, and we are a very diverse community in San Jose.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are respecting us. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at explaining things, obviously.
I don't think I've ever experienced like racism being an Asian American in the Bay Area, just like because Issa said, there's a lot of diversity in the Bay. But I could imagine if we moved to like middle America, there might be a little bit more racism towards us.
So you've never experienced any of the so-called Asian hate?
No.
No, not me.
Okay, very happy to hear that. actually.
Yeah, thank God
I heard
we
about
didn't,
that.
but feel really bad for those who did.
Yeah.
None of us deserve that.
Yeah.
We're all living in the same planet. You know, we should all love each other.
Okay. If you were going to have a boyfriend, do you have a minimum salary requirement?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No money, no honey.
Period. Now, being serious, I don't think I have like a requirement per se, but all I want to know is that I just want to be able to know that they would be able to provide for our family. So
All right, name a number.
I'm gonna be honest, it needs to be at least over 6 figures. That's bare minimum because in the Bay it's very expensive. So I think like under 125,000 USD, that's considered low income for like the median household. So needs to be above that.
Okay, that's fair.
And I do think, like, it doesn't really matter. I think as long as you guys are able to grow together and build an empire together, that's all that matters.
That was actually good. Yeah,
period,
you guys are gonna look good on that one. All right, height requirement.
High requirement. Well, I'm 5'8", so I would obviously not, but I would probably want someone who's 5'11" or taller. That's my requirement.
Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Right.
That's
This
tall
is a
for me.
shocker, but I'm 4'11" and a half because the half counts.
You're a tiny queen.
Wear
Yeah, with some heels.
And my requirement is actually 5'10" and above, which my friends always give me a lot of crap for it because they're like, you need to save all the tall guys for us. Like, you're short, everyone's taller than you. But, you know, like, I want to feel small.
All I'm saying is there are short kings out here.
Sorry, Short Kings. I love you, but not for me. Not for me.
All right, but what's the most important thing in a relationship?
Trust, communication, and loyalty.
All right, for me, probably just having a really supportive partner, knowing that whatever that you do, you guys are doing together and as a unit. And I think that having an understanding that both of you guys have each other's backs, I think is the most important part for the foundation. And I think everything else just kind of falls into place after that.
Okay. Is there any circumstance where if you got cheated on, you would forgive your boyfriend and stay together?
I've done that before, and knowing what had happened in that relationship, I don't think I'd ever do it again. I feel like people should respect boundaries, and when you love someone, you shouldn't have any idea of wanting to cheat with them.
Good.
Thankfully, I've never gotten cheated on before, but if I were to, I think I would leave, because if you love me, why are you with someone else?
Have you ever cheated?
Never. Never.
No.
You have any like crazy story you could tell me?
Oh, I have a good one.
Okay.
I have a good one. Okay. So, I met this guy at a bar, and like we kind of have some mutual friends, but I don't really know him that well. And we were just having a good time. And then he was like, oh, and we also see each other like at the hospital that we were working at. And so then we were like, yeah, like let's hang out, whatever. And then he goes, hey, if you're still down, meet me at the Motel 6 tonight. And I was like, what? Motel 6? I was like, first of all, if you're trying to like get laid with a girl, like what girl is going to be like, yeah, Motel 6, so romantic, like I'm so turned on right now. Like what? No, not the Motel 6.
My crazy story.
Yeah.
With a man?
Yeah, what's your like worst experience with a guy?
Worst experience with a guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty easygoing, so I don't think I've had like crazy worst experiences. I think I'm pretty good at like gauging like whether this guy is a creep or not, or like weird.
Can I give you an experience that I had at my work? Does that count?
Please do.
Okay. So there was this 40-year-old. I just graduated nursing school. So I just finished my preceptorship, and I was working in the ICU, and there was this 40-year-old male, perfectly healthy. He's a police officer, 3 kids, and then he complained of abdominal pain, and so they got it checked out. He got his appendix removed, and then a couple months later, he came back for additional abdominal pain. They ran some tests and stuff, and what they did was they took out part of his colon, and they gave him an ileostomy and a fistula. And an ileostomy is like kind of like a poop bag, because they took out his colon, right? So he doesn't excrete anymore through the behind anymore. And he still had problems, so they did an X-lap. So they basically just opened him up and just like try to find like whatever is wrong with him inside. And he still kept like crashing. Like his blood pressure was really low. He was in a medically induced coma. We had to do a bunch of things, and it ended up getting to the point where we had to open him up at the bedside. Like not even in the OR, bedside, open him up. We put in a wound vac for him. And unfortunately he died a couple of days later, and he was only 40 years old.
Wow. Do you feel like sad about that?
I was. When we were actually doing one of the procedures, we had to put in an art line in his groin. And an art line is like, you know how like you have an IV to like infuse like fluids and medications and stuff? An art line is usually used for an extra port of access. That's usually used for like critical care patients, because they're just having so many medications run through. And I told him, I was like, this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to try to make this as comfortable as possible for you. And I told him to hold my hand, and he actually squeezed it. And I almost started crying because I felt so bad for him. Like he was healthy just like a couple of days ago, and now he's in this state where he's in a coma. Yes. Yeah.